times in my life where I've lost close friends, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can, relate to this topic. But, pretty much, like in my entire middle school, high school life, my entire social life, I've pretty much had people who I've considered close friends, for lack of better terminology, close friends that, you're out for each other. You make the pact where you're gonna be friends forever, and then it's like you end up growing apart, and you end up not speaking to the person ever again. And like, it happens in many situations. I mean, in high school, it can either happen overnight where you get into a fight with somebody, you just don't talk to them anymore, or it can happen where you just grow apart from somebody when you probably go to different schools, or you probably just don't see each other anymore. And it's like, this is how the cookie crumbles. And it's because it's not really in your control. And a lot of people think that it's like, well, people just stop being best friends because it's like, they don't find an interest in each other anymore, like they don't find that they should be friends anymore. But no, it's really more, it's like, people just tend to grow apart. And it doesn't always happen, because I still have some close friends from like high school, or freshman year of college, or some even middle school that I still speak to and I see on some type of basis. But it's just like, in terms of friends that I can honestly call up in the middle of the night, or just hit up somebody when I'm feeling down or something, I can't really say that I have too many close friends anymore, as much as I did like in high school or something. And part of it also tells me that's like, well, losing close friends means that they weren't close to begin with. But no, that's really not how it works. I mean, people can be your friends in certain situations, and once you're out of that situation, well, are they still your friend? I mean, of course. I mean, people are people, and that's just how life works. Once you stop hanging out with somebody, are you honestly going to spend your life going out of your way to, hang out with them? Like, if people are your best friends, they would do that. But it's like, don't force somebody to do so, because it's like, people just tend to grow apart. I mean, you see this with relationships too. It's like, if you're going out with somebody and it's a long distance relationship, 9 times out of 10 it just doesn't end up working out. And that's pretty much how like any type of relationship would work. If you don't see somebody for a good period of time, like, you tend to grow apart from that person. And it's like, a lot of my close friends, in high school, I don't consider everybody I know a close friend. Even though I'm a nice person, even though I think they're nice people, not all of them are going to be my close friends. They'll be friends, of course. I mean, like, they're nice people and they're cool and all that, but it's like, a select few people are my close friends. And it's like, once you grow apart from them, you tend to question, like, were they really your close friends to begin with? And honestly, I had a bunch of close friends in middle school that I said, hey, we're going to be friends forever. And then it's like, by sophomore year of high school, it's like, we don't even know each other anymore. Same thing with college. I mean, I graduated high school like 3 years ago, and I speak to probably like 5 out of the 1,000 people that I knew in high school. So it's like, out of how many of those people were really my close friends? And I wouldn't say the select 5 people are exactly my close friends, but it's just the people that I still keep in contact with. It's not really, a matter of who's your close friend or not. And, there are people that, I did consider like my best friends in high school. Like, I did consider them to be people that I can always hang out with and I can always speak to. And it's just sad knowing that you can't really, not that you can't speak to them anymore, but it's like, you don't really have a reason to speak to them anymore. And it's like, well, at what situation does this person stop being your best friend? Is it because you stop speaking to that person? Like, what judges you to say that they're not your best friend anymore? And it's honestly because if you were to hit up a best friend that you haven't spoke to for 5 years, are they the same person anymore? Or have they grown, have they grown away from you? Have they grown a tie away from you? And honestly, that's pretty much all I have to say about losing best friends. It's not like, you're fighting and then you just stop talking to each other. It's just because you grow apart from people. And I don't know, that's just sad. Like, I have a lot of best friends with memories, and I can't really say that they're my best friends anymore because I don't really speak to them. I want to talk about being a loser in high school. I was never a loser in high school. I just want to get that straight. I want to get that point out there. I was never a loser in high school. But I knew a lot of people that were losers in high school. And it's like, I never showed hate for them. In fact, I was friends with a lot of losers in high school. It didn't make me a loser at all. In fact, I was probably one of the more popular people because of that. And I just want to say that people are people. I don't view people as popular, as losers or anything. In fact, if someone's popular, I actually have a not too fond vision of them because they tend to take that to their head, and which is one of the reasons why I didn't really enjoy high school as much, because being a popular person, I didn't enjoy it, and I don't really enjoy people that take it that way. And so pretty much, I want to talk about like how people become losers, or quote unquote the term loser. And being a loser doesn't, like, you could be a goofy person. Wait, hold on, wait. Do you hear that? Yes, once again, I'm getting those fire trucks again. I know. It's still the freaking storm, and people are still dealing with it. I know. The hurricane storm Nemo, or whatever the fuck it is, a snowstorm. But yeah, pretty much. People become losers because it's not necessarily because they're a goofy person, or because they're naturally tending to be a loser. A lot of losers, quote unquote, are either not too social or socially awkward, but it's because they don't have a lot of friends. And a lot of people, like a lot of the popular people, add to that because of the fact that they don't have a lot of friends. The popular people, they get into a group of people, they have their little entourage, their little clique, their little whatever. And what happens is one person in that group, they show a lot of hate for this particular person. And so because they show the hate for that person and they're all in a group, it becomes like sort of like a social activity to all hate that person. And the domino effect, it just becomes like that. Just it tumbles and tumbles, and all of a sudden you get a big group of people that just hates the same person. Like, not hates, but like looks down on that same person. And I just don't like it like that. I don't like when that happens, because it's not a good representation of what a loser is. I mean, granted, some people are considered losers everywhere, but like I said, it's because they're not too social with people. And like, I've been friends with people who are considered losers, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I probably am better friends with people who are considered losers because of the fact that they don't have too many friends. I feel like people that are popular are people that are fake, and I don't like fake people. I don't view like popular people, or like losers or whatever, as such. I mean, people are people, and it's like, honestly, if you're gonna be a better person without having too many friends, then I get to see the real side of you. I get to see the side of you that people are considering a loser. And honestly, they don't take the people that consider somebody a loser, they don't take the time to actually get to know a person. And I don't view past the social, I view way past the social norms. Like, if somebody's considered a loser or a jock or whatever, I view everything past that, because people are still people, and people still have feelings, people still have emotions.
Story time about how my grandfather single-handedly ruined the family name. My grandfather on my paternal side was a native of a small city. He was popular and known for having one of the best catering services in the area. He also owned a bank. His family was so popular that the other members in town owned businesses as well, such as flower shops, liquor stores, and so on. However, my grandfather was a huge narcissist. He was abusive to my father. When my father was only 7 years old, my grandmother passed away from cancer in her discs. She was the sweetest person and a ray of sunshine. Not even 2 months later, my grandfather brought home a minor who was only 16 years old and married her. He was already cheating on my grandmother with her. His new wife was also abusive towards my father in traumatizing ways. Even though he had a new wife, my grandfather still belonged to the streets. He was on a clapping spree most of his life, cheating on her with multiple women. Most of the time, to be able to do the deed, he would take Viagra. During one of his hookups, he had a heart attack and died with a full-on erection. The mortician needed help slaying his kraken for his viewing, so they had to tape it down to his thigh because it would not go down. His wife quickly found out about his affairs and was so angry that she buried him without a tombstone. This happened when I was around 12 years old. However, the story doesn't end there. Part 2 of how my grandfather single-handedly ruined the family name. After my grandfather's death, the kids from his previous marriages and his affairs came forward. Since my grandfather was wildly successful and rich, they started fighting with his wife to take my grandfather's house and belongings. It was a whole fiasco that involved court cases and lawyers. His widowed wife didn't want to deal with anything that had to do with him, including his children. She left all his belongings and house to them to fight over like cats and dogs. Due to this, the whole town found out everything that happened, including the cause of his embarrassing death. Plot twist, his widowed wife apparently already had suspicions that my grandfather was cheating on her, so she got herself a younger man on the side. Right after she buried him, she came out victorious with a younger man and moved to a different town in Puerto Rico. She was living like a queen on the beaches with her new man, while back in town, the family name was going to shambles. Their perfect exterior and fake facades had now crumbled as their dirty towels were being exposed. They went from a clean prestige title to being known as cheaters, starting from my grandfather to his children. All the boys in the family had cheated on their wives, including my father, who cheated on my mother when I was 7 with a 17-year-old. Now the family name is a laughingstock in that town. People who want to talk about scandalous things will always bring up that family name.